What's your name? What was your original name? When and where were you born?
I was originally called Betty Ruth.
What?
And I was born a Raider. My dad was Forrest Acorn Raider. And his folks were from Germany. But they lived in Canada. And I think it was Moose Jaw that they lived in. And Dad lived in Moose Jaw, Canada, when he was a young man. Am I still going?
Yeah.
And then he moved to Oklahoma, or moved to Kansas. That's where he met my mother. It was in Kansas. She was from a Kansas town, and I don't know the name of their towns, but it wasn't the same town in Kansas. And then they went, Mother got moved to Cleo Springs when she was a young lady, and she was a telephone operator. It was a switchboard. That's the only phone mechanisms they had there. And she was a single operator in Cleo Springs for years. She ran the switchboard. And Daddy was kind of wondering. He had lived in Canada, and he moved to Kansas. He was born in Kansas. I don't know what town. But his dad, and he went to Kansas, and I think they homesteaded some land where they had a land run. But anyway, it was...
Up in Canada? I've seen the paperwork of his property up in Canada.
Uh-huh, yeah. In Canada. And it was around Moose Jaw. I can remember him residing in Moose Jaw, Canada at one time. I don't know, it was some kind of paper that I saw. And his address was Moose Jaw. And then he somehow moved to Cleo Springs. And that's where he and my mother eloped from when they got married. My dad was a real romantic man. He didn't want to get married by the preacher, so they eloped. And my dad had been married before, I understand, although it was never brought up in my childhood. I didn't find this out until I was of age, and my older sister told me that he had been married before, but it was never mentioned around the house. I know nothing about it, but evidently he had children of this marriage, so I have half brothers and sisters, whatever there was.